Why bank bosses who won't crack down on compensation should just go. That's what I'm talking with Hugo Dixon about today from Reuters Breakingviews. Good to see you, Hugo. You know, if you start a piece that says, shortly after last year's bonus round, I was having lunch with the boss of an investment firm, I'm going to start by asking you who the hell this guy was.
I'm not gonna
You're not going to tell me yet.
Yeah.
All right. What is the new zeitgeist? What is it? And will bank bosses start reacting to it?
Well, the new zeitgeist is at least partly that that bankers are no longer masters of the universe, that society doesn't look up to them but looks rather down on them, resents them, and that there needs to be a new form of capitalism which is more about really creating value rather than just trading and leveraging things up and taking risks and one-way bets. That's what it is.
And you make it very clear that the coming bonus round represents a great opportunity, and you say to reset compensation to a lower rate.
Yes.
Is it realistic?
I think it's realistic to expect that it is going to come down. Yep. I mean, it is coming down slowly, it's not realistic to expect that they're all going to go down in one jump this year to where they need to be to the new sustainable level. However, if more and more people write this sort of article, if the message gets through, then you can crunch them down. I mean, this has been a fantastic, terrible year in a way for banks, but a fantastic opportunity to take this sort of action. You've had the whole raft of scandals, LIBOR, rogue trading,
yep,
money laundering, blah, blah. You've had the difficult economic situation in much of the world, and they are cutting jobs and they are squeezing compensation.
But the Bob Diamonds of the world, the Joe Ackermans of the world, they didn't get it.
No, but they've gone.
And the new guys do get it?
I think. Well, I mean, take for example, take Jenkins, Anthony Jenkins at Barclays. I mean, I actually haven't met him, but he certainly is talking as if he realises that there needs to be a new way of reconnecting with the public. He would be a complete fool not to realise that. Yep. Take Anshu Jain, you talk about the Deutsche Bank. I mean, he came out earlier this month with that statement about how there needs to be a complete culture change at Deutsche Bank, and how they're going to crack down on compensation. Now, of course, one is a bit suspicious and you think, well, they're just sort of playing to the gallery. But these guys, they are smart. Even if they're greedy, they are smart, and they know which way the wind is blowing.
Interesting. I mean, you say if more of us wrote articles like this, we might get to this point. I think an important argument is, look, as soon as one or two banks start doing this, others are going to poach them. Others who are still paying hefty salaries, decent bonuses, are going to poach them. And you say, well, look, hold on. If we get to that point where all the banks lower their compensation, then we're in the right place. That seems unrealistic to me. I mean, we're talking about all the banks globally.
It is unrealistic to expect that all of them will. On the other hand, it's not exactly a market where everyone is going out and wanting to hire. So obviously there will be some poaching for some people on the fringes if you do this. But this is the perfect time to do it when the industry, most banks are shrinking, even Goldman Sachs. I mean, there's a story which I don't think has been confirmed, but suggesting that about 100 senior people have been or are in the process of being shed at Goldman. And so you've got that. And what I'm saying is that the regulators and the shareholders, because this is not only a public interest issue, this is a shareholder interest. They're having a miserable time, the returns they're having from their banks. They call in the chairman of the banks and they say, this is what we want you to do. And if they actually do that across the board, of course, without giving specific instructions, but giving a general orientation, then again, there's a greater chance that it will be done on a collective basis without any collusion, because we shouldn't have collusion, but there will be done a greater chance, and therefore a greater chance that it won't actually lead to this sort of destructive poaching.
OK, Hugo, I'm going to stop you there. You can read this piece, of course, on the Breakingviews site. Do check out our earlier Breakingviews show. We look at why Vince Cable's £1 billion business bank is a welcome move for small firms. And our US Breakingviews show coming up at 12:30 Eastern, 5:30 London time. I'm Axel Threlfall. This is Reuters.